HarperCollins presents The Lost Prescription, a practical roadmap to grief recovery, written and read by Dr Chloe Paidoussis-Mitchell. Please note that there is a download file in your audiobook library which includes supporting material for some of the exercises in this audiobook, as well as further resources. Introduction. We bereaved are not alone. We belong to the largest company in all the world, the company of those who have known suffering. Helen Keller. My heart is broken. Without her, my world is pointless. These words were spoken by Rachel, a 44-year-old client who had lost a 19-year-old daughter to leukemia 8 months previously and had come to my practice for therapy. She had been so strong, so determined to support her vulnerable girl to the end. And she had. But the shattered pieces of her broken heart were too depressed, too exhausted, and too fragmented to find anything positive to move towards. She collapsed into the therapy chair, seeking some acknowledgement of her despair. She wept and wept in rage, confusion, and despair. She wanted her girl back, and she was so angry. How could something so cruel happen to such an amazing young woman? My work with Rachel was humbling and poignant. Listening to this book, you may hear a version of your own story in hers. My first words to her were, "I'm so sorry for your loss." I offer these same words to you right now to recognize what you're going through. I'm sorry on that human level. I know, as we all do, that none of us gets out of this alive. I know that none of us can live a life untouched by loss and grief, and yet I also know how painful it is to bear a severed bond. I share in your sadness, and I empathize deeply with what it's like to be touched by pain. If you're listening to this, I imagine you're dealing with a loss, or supporting someone who's dealing with a loss. Perhaps loss through bereavement, loss through life change such as divorce, miscarriage or retirement, or loss that's historical. You may be in the early stages of loss. Perhaps it's only been a few days. Or you may be much further down the line, wondering, as your heartache weaves its intricate tapestry, if you will ever be whole again. Whatever it is, losing pushes you to your limits. But support is out there. In this book, I offer you a roadmap to recover your psychological and physical equilibrium, well-being, and mental health. Recovery doesn't mean the absence of sadness. It means accepting sadness and living fully anyway. People often say you don't overcome grief. And it's true. It is something you move through and learn to live with. But embracing life again, living fully, and experiencing joy and happiness no matter what, is possible. It is important. It matters because you matter. In this book, I promise to help you find your inner calm, reach a place of acceptance, find hope, and reconstruct your life as meaningfully as you desire. There are so many grief theories and so many different approaches. There are many books on grief. Many of them are brilliant. I have written this one, however, because I have not found a book that offers a therapeutic roadmap through loss of any kind. A book that uses a holistic approach to address what grief does to us, looking at the whole person, and offering the types of tools and solutions you might encounter if you were to enter a therapist's room. As a psychologist with a private clinic in London, I know that therapy is expensive and the waiting times are long. I wanted more people to have access to the kind of expertise that might help them recover, and in this book I present the tools I have used for many years with my clients, several of whom you'll meet along the way, along with accessible information on what to expect of grief and what may unfold. Engaging with the lost prescription is a deep dive into your soul. It is going to be challenging. Part of this may be because in the West, we don't deal with loss and grief all that well. Why are we so bad at dealing with loss? As you have likely discovered, loss of any kind that deprives you of a hoped-for future is unimaginably difficult. Nothing prepares you for it. Even when you know it's coming, those first weeks are raw. If your mind feels foggy and overwhelmed, your heart hurts, your body is tense, and you have lost your sense of self, that's all completely understandable. Grief ebbs and flows, sometimes manageably, and other times less so. Funerals and memorial rituals give us structure in the early stages of a bereavement, and we often assume that life will return to normal after a few months, believing that most people progress through grief and come out
Sample complete. Ready to continue?